All right. So are you guys seeing my members area on wealthbuildershq.com at this point? Yes? Okay. Let me try switching over to the PowerPoint and let's see if that's it. You guys see my PowerPoint now? All right. Thank goodness. All right. So mastermind group coming up on October 13th. That is this Tuesday, tomorrow night, 8 to 9 p.m. Then on October 13th, also 8 to 9 p.m., we've got Trading You coming up. When we switched over the mastermind to what we did, which is an every week group now, an every week meeting, we already had the Trading You scheduled. So the Trading You now is, we'll be doing both at the same time, but we won't be doing that in the future where we're running two classes at once. Inner Circle, which was the mastermind group live, is coming up on the 15th, 8 to 10 p.m. And then E-Mini Think Tank, Brandon has a class this Friday called Picking the Correct Targets. That's the 16th. Mastering the Trade, that is for any one of you that are in the Power Option Plays class. You'll get that. That is next week on Thursday. So if you register for your free trial, you will be just in time for that class. In that class, I will be going over the POP 5K strategy, which basically has brought us in $9,000, a little over $9,000 in 5 weeks on a $5,000 account. We've got an 80% win ratio on that system. So if you haven't taken that trial before, you should consider jumping into that, folks. If nothing else, to see what I'm going to teach there. I am going to rock your socks, and then we'll take that video and make it a permanent video inside of Power Option Plays where it stays there. Really, it's going to be a good training that we're going to go through in there. And then Monster Market Move is coming up on the 29th. Here we are, Power Hour on Monday. And then POP, which is Power Option Plays, E-Mini Think Tank, and Covered Call Explorer are all on track this week. Everything is on regularly scheduled time slots. All right, here's our follow us page. I see a lot of names in here that I don't recognize. Welcome to those of you that are newer. By all means, make sure that you go ahead and register for the various social media platforms that we're on. Take advantage of that free material, that free training that we do, which really is pretty good, if I have to say so myself. I have to say so myself. No one else is talking. So go ahead and register for those. We appreciate it. All right. So let me see, what did it do with my chat? Let's see, participants, there we go. Interesting, very interesting. So let's go ahead over and take a look at S&P 500. Right, so right now we're up 237 points on the Dow, we're up 262 points on the NASDAQ, and we're up 51, almost 52 points on the S&P. It was a great gap and go this morning. It's just been that kind of day, right? It's been that kind of week. I mean, we're not that far away anymore, right? When you look at it, let me just switch here and then go to all symbols. Okay. When you look at it, here's our all-time high on the S&P 500, right? We're there. Right, we're right in the midst of it. We have no fib lines in our way anymore until we get to the all-time high, right? Which is, I think, 35.8808 is what we wind up at. Let's just get the exact high is 35.8808. Yep, so that's the all-time high on the S&P 500 right now, is the top of that fib line that's in there. We have now closed above the 764. The Fibonacci is still good. We're waiting for a close above the 882. We'll put that in there. I'll kind of offset the line a little bit because I don't want to use it as a gauge. Let's see. Yeah, I'll put it in as yellow. I want it to be there and just be a little bit. Oh, wait, what's that back there? Oh, yeah, that's right. There it is. So there's that yellow line. Might be a little bit harder to see. Might be a little bit harder to see in that yellow. So let me go change that. Try to get, let's see. Oh, that's a little bit better. Okay. So high 58.8808, and that is on 9/2. Let's see if we go back to a daily chart. Oh no, this is daily, right? So what do we show here? 35.8811. You're right. So we've got a different price in there. We got a different price in there. Well, 35.8811. That's what I've got on TradeStation. So I don't know why it's a slight difference in here. But let's do this for now. So let me go ahead and change this to 11. Save that. And then you can change it inside of the bar itself. Save changes, and there it goes. I've now adjusted the price. We adjusted the fib line. Life is good. No, I had it. The high was listed as 08. Now it's listed as 11. So we're there. So nice push up today. Gap retest at that 3,500 level, a bounce. Life is abundant for today, right? So reset this back down. Let's bring the 5 back up. We made the gap up. We came back and retested, and we bounced. Very nice. Very, very nice, right? When you look at the leaders for today, we'll go with the net change column. Right? You got Amazon up $159, right? So when you look at the daily chart, we're not at the all-time highs yet, but we ain't all that far off. Looks familiar, folks. Sure does. Looks very familiar. All right, we got this pullback. We got this move, just like the S&P. Let's see. Jim said, I've seen TradeStation on the daily chart. The open or close numbers are a few cents different than the 5 or the 15-minute charts. All right, good to know. Let's see. Google's up 45. Booking is up 35. Nvidia is up 17. Hold on, let me go get the top secret folder here. Oh, what happened? Let me go ahead and grab the camera. I just realized it was not on. Oh, there we go. Let me move that out of the way. Perfect. Okay. So Nvidia. So we got a bullish trade open on Nvidia right now. Oh, wow. Let's see. Let's go to Nvidia. All right, there we go. So there's Nvidia. Let's see, what's our next target? 589. So our next target is up here at 589. Okay, 52 to 89, 30 somewhat points. We're good. We don't need a fibit in there, right? So that's our next target. We're already up a decent amount on Nvidia. We've got a, overall. Let's see, where is that? That was the wrong sheet. Let's open up pop. And let's go to, what do we have open? Trades right now. Let's just do this. Let's hide that. All right, so we got a couple of trades that are open right now. I just want to share this one though. Here's Nvidia. Our first exit, we took half of our 4 contracts off, and we're up $3,588 on Nvidia. Still an open trade. We're looking for our next contract to be up at this 589 level. So if we can make it, if we can make the move up there, life will be good. Nvidia has earnings coming out November 18th. So we've got plenty of room for earnings yet on Nvidia. Unconfirmed, but that's the date I've got it down for. So overall, I'm happy with what we're looking at with Nvidia right now. Great move to the upside. They have really become a phenomenal trading company. Too much. Let's see. Phenomenal. And again, I think they're near their all-time highs right now as well, which was right here on that same date. So president, the election, the COVID virus, all of that stuff doesn't seem to be affecting the market. Even Pelosi saying, nope, we're not negotiating on one topic. We've got to negotiate. We got to have guarantees that all the topics are going to be getting fulfilled with what we want. So there's still fights on the stimulus package, which is too bad because Americans are the ones that are going to suffer. I've never had a deal that I've negotiated where every single thing in the world had to be in the deal. We couldn't resolve one thing, right? Never. Not when people are suffering like this. I can't see it. But the markets are still liking what's happening out there today. So all of that is critical. It is key. I mean, just what we're seeing right now with the markets move, and that's what the email went out this afternoon or this morning, depending on where you are from, which is the rebound on the S&P 500, right? We're pretty darn close to the all-time highs. But the question you've got to ask yourself is, are we hitting it? Are we pulling back? What's the deal? We're right in the midst of earnings season. Can anybody tell me what stock you look at to tell how close to earnings season you are? Does anybody know what stock we want to look at? So Charles, we don't need a Fibit on Nvidia because the way we apply Fibits is you look at the distance of the two fib lines. So we're looking at 52 up to 89. 52, so 62, 72, 82, that's 37, right? I have a Fibit number in here on my symbol grid on the left, and it shows $40.80. Since 37, the distance between these two lines is less than 40.86. We don't need to put a Fibit inside of there. Right, good. So you all got it. Those of you that typed it in, all got it. It's Alcoa. They are the unofficial start to earnings season, right? And they are coming out on the 14th. I'm assuming it's confirmed being that close. They're usually pretty good with that. I don't have the exact answer, yay or nay, whether they are or not. Go to earningswhisper.com and you could find that out. I'm not 100% sure. What I can tell you is, excuse me, that we're right in the midst of earnings season. So if we look now, right, from where we are today, that's the window we have left until earnings, until until election time. So there's not a whole lot of time left, right? Caution is the word. I think the Pop 5K strategy is working so well. Folks, we're near 200% gain in 5 weeks on our account, all right? That's how powerful the strategy has become. Excuse me. So with that being said, be cautious on the swing trades. It's too easy to get whipped right now. If we go back and look at the S&P 500, right? We've had a great run, 4 nice bullish days in a row. But, 2 days prior, we had the big day up, the big day down, right? So all of this, right? What happens with the 25th Amendment of the presidential competency, right? What happens with that, right? As far as that rule, is that going to be, oh yeah, that's not good for the country, it drives it down. It's great for the country, it drives it up. There's a lot of uncertainty looming around, and never before have we seen this much disparity in government parties that I know of, at least historically, than we're seeing today. In all of my years of voting, I've never seen this much ridiculousness between the two parties and the fighting, and you want it, so we don't want it, right? You don't want it, so we do want it. There's way too much of that, which is going to cause this potential whipsaw. And see, the problem is out of sight, out of mind, right? If you just focus on these 4 days right here, or even 6 days, or even 7 days, that's awesome. But what about this right here? When we're in this sideways move, or this downtrend that took place back inside of here. And then the next sideways move that happened in here, right? And that should be up a little bit higher, but I think you get the idea, right? Out of sight, out of mind. It's very easy to say, yeah, no, we're in a bullish move right now. We are. But look at the last 3 series of boxes that I have drawn. That was massive whipsaw, right? We had a gap down right here, and it recovered a little bit that day. Opened about flat, big push down, gap up. Gap up even higher, crush, right? Gap down a little bit higher, bigger move up, gap up. Sideways, gap and go, right? Then what happened? We gap up and we fail the next day. I mean, we're all over the place. And that's the name of the game right now. You've got to get really good at looking at that chart and saying, okay, it's overdone, it's overbaked, it's time, pull the trigger, get me out of the trade, lock in my profits, move up my stops, which, by the way, does it always help? No, it doesn't, right? When you closed here and your stop was here and it gapped all the way down here the next day, that stop doesn't help you any. Not at all right? When it, let's see if I can do this. All right, so when we, on this day, we closed, we opened slightly higher, ran up, and then we failed, right? And if you get a fairly quick move somewhere inside of here, and I'm not saying that was the case, but watch, if we go back and look at the 6th, if we go back to TradeStation on the S&P and look at the 6th, and I want to look at it on a 5-minute chart. Right? So, see? Check. Okay, let me grab a drawing tool. Where would they be hiding? And a tape. All right. What color do I have? Good enough. So, okay, just making sure it wasn't one of my alarms. So we get this little bit of a move down. We start to climb up. Man, life is good. And then in 1, 2 candles, we have collapsed. If your stop was somewhere in here, this candle moved so hard and so fast, you might not have been taken out until the candle or the price got down here, right? So just because you have a stop in place, you get moves like this, doesn't mean a darn thing. Right? All it means is you may or may not have been cleared on that trade. You may or may not have gotten in and or out when you wanted to, based on how fast the move was. So I'm not saying that you should convert everything over to day trading. What I will tell you is most of what I have done has gone to day trading. Right now, if we look at last week's power option plays, the one I did yesterday, we had so earnings were, I think, 11 companies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We had 11 earnings for yesterday. Earnings is 11. We had 1, 2 managed trade. So we have 2 open trades right now. 1, 2. Okay. Day trades, we had 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 4 day trades. Right, we only have 20 stocks. That is 17 of our 20 right there. We have 3 other ones that said bullish with a pullback, right? Which on a day like today probably didn't happen. We probably just ran right past it without a pullback. But we had 3 others that were bullish with a pullback, right? So much, and earnings is all day trades. That's what earnings is. It's all day trades. So much of what we're dealing with right now is earnings. You know, if you take the 2 managed trades out, that leaves us with 18 candidates. 3 of them are directional trades. That gives us 15 day trades and 3 directional trades. So as you can see, 5-to-1 ratio of my swing trade or my day trade versus my swing trade setups out there. So interesting time for sure. Yeah, Jim said the blue boxes look like an inverted head and shoulders. Wasn't meant to be that way, Jim, but you're right. All right, let's see if we go to, all right, it's exactly what it could be, right? Shoulder, upside down head, right? And then shoulder, breakout of the neckline, which winds up being about the same price in there. But I pointed those out. So you're right, Jim. Those were pointed out. Remember why, everybody? Because we could get into another period like that. Right? Let me see. What did I miss? All right. So Barry said, I look at the particular stock and not the market for earnings. Earnings are reported at all different times for my stocks. Absolutely, Barry. Sure are. Jim, Nvidia's divergence between daily volume and daily candles, ADX, is below 40. Okay. Alcoa is. Thanks, Trip. Hey, good to see you, my friend. Trip said Alcoa is confirmed on the 14th, which is I'm pretty sure the date we looked at from what I remember in my head. Amy said if you put it on a line chart, looks like a daily head and shoulders. All right, so there you go. Debbie said, how do you get to chat that Rob can also see? So Debbie, I don't know if anybody has answered you because I can't tell on this one where I can on the GoToWebinar. But if you just open up chat, you should only have access to chat with panelists, and that's me. Right? I'm one of there are 3 of us in here right now. They're all in there as me. Jim said the 6th is when Trump did not sign the stimulus bill. So could you get Kevin said, could I get a copy of the 18 stocks we follow? So Kevin, it's 20, right? And I can bring it down and show you. You can do a screenshot. Not something I'm going to send to you, but you can grab a screenshot. That is the 20 pop stocks. That's the 20 stocks and power option plays that I follow and trade regularly. And that's what you'll see come up on my TradeStation screen all the time are these 20. Let's see. Yeah, pull out your phones. If you need, pull out your phones and grab a screenshot with it. Okay. I use a program called Snagit. It's an absolutely phenomenal program. I love it to death. It's an annual pay now. I own a lifetime license to it, so I don't pay an annual fee. I think it's annual, but TechSmith is the company that created it. But there's so many snippet tools you can use. So Will said Roku. Well, yeah, I mean, that fail off of that one will exactly. Kevin, you're quite welcome. Notice I've got redraw fibs on there. We don't have a good place yet, but we need to redraw. I made it very obstructive, very obtrusive, very in your face, very annoying that it covers numbers up, but I want to be able to go, oh yeah, that's right. I need to do something here. But yeah, I'm a big fan of zero line. I do love the fail taking place. A little hard pressed on Roku to try to take the bearish trade against the bullish news. And I don't know why Roku is going down when the rest of the market's going up. NASDAQ's crushing it today. Excuse me. I mean, we're near all-time highs on everything all over again, all the majors all over again. Okay, Jim, I got it. I love Snag It to death. How about love it to life? We need you around many more years to come. All right, I got it. Note to self. I appreciate it. Okay. Let me go back. I'm going to take this one off of here. Let me go back and get all symbols. So anything that we look at, we can see. So guys, what symbols do you want to take a look at today? If you've already put one in, put it back in. Patty, I am so glad you made it. Amazon. Oh, that's right. Your contract has kind of changed a little bit, right? You're more of a freer person at this point. Okay, so let's see. Patty's asking for Amazon. Patty, do you trade Amazon regularly? Every day. Okay, good. So I'm going to tell you that the stuff we're doing with Pop 5K, and was a starting point for me, which again, I'm going to reveal on the Mastering the Trade, which is included with anybody that is registered for Pop 5K. For power option plays. But then we're going to take it and we're going to use the same concept on everything that we do in power option plays. And when you see it, and I don't want to give away the secrets on it yet, but when you see it, for anybody that's trying to or wanted to trade some of these bigger stocks and could not because of cost, I think this is going to be a major game changer for people when we see it. So I am stoked about that. So let's see. First one was Amazon. Amazon had a great move up today. Little tough on a gap fill, right? Probably a bit much. Well, actually, let me see. That's not true. I'm thinking we were down here, the next fib line. So 32.83 to 33. Yeah, so that's 60, 70 points. Probably not a very good gap fill. But here, I love this. Let me get a pad. Actually, let me turn on a fan. It's getting hot in here. I don't know why I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt today. Oh, I do. I was working on my daughter's car in the rain. All right, so we're looking at 33.44.29. That is Amazon's support level. Amazon. Oh, we already have a line drawn in there today, right? So look at the move. Right, we gap up, we pull back, and we bounce, okay? So we got to pull back on the first 5 minutes, and we got to bounce today. So opportunity was there potentially. If we go back and look at a 1 minute chart, and we draw the same line, it's going to be somewhere over there, but really doesn't matter. 33.44.29. 33.44.29. All right, so we closed first candle, first 1 minute. We gapped up, we pulled back, we closed below, and we tripped right up through it on the second candle. There was the potential opportunity. Call it 33.46. We're over 100-point move so far on the day on that, and it's just kind of chugging, right? So the 1 minute candle did confirm some of what we saw in the 5, and great move, great overall move on it today. So when we look at Amazon, we'll go back there, Pat, and let's see. We've already hit the resistance, 34.41 and a half. Tight stop underneath that level if you're still in. If it's going to keep rocking, 35.38 is our next resistance level, which brings us near the all-time highs, right? So we're just literally days away potentially with Amazon. I hope that helps. Let's see. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing. All right, there we go. Trip's asking for Micron. All right, so, all right, earnings are passed for them, so that's not that big of a deal. We don't have to be too concerned with it. Fans blowing stuff all over the room. I don't have to be that concerned with that, with the earnings, so that's good. We got above the 49.64. Well, what do you guys think? I see 51.38 as our next resistance. Does anybody see anything that's a problem potentially? Any potential problems in here with bullish move? Anything that you see? Anything that makes you go from here, right, the very relaxed mode, to here, and you're sitting up to take notice? All right. Not what I was looking for, Will. Leslie, I love it. Look left. Look left. Come on, this should be one of the very first questions you ask yourself every time you look at a chart. Okay. Watch. As soon as I start, many of you are going to go, oh. Let me see what we've got for color. Oh, that's fine. Red works. Good, Kevin, I think. You tell me if this is where you were going. That high. That high. That high. We're not there yet. It hasn't stopped going up, at least not yet. But look at the lows. Look at the lows. And my lines are off, right? I mean, I'm just showing the angle, period. So if we clear all these drawings out and we grab a diagonal line, that's where we are right now. And oh, look where we failed at that potential resistance. Right. Evening start. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's possible. So I'm not saying, ooh, this is going down. I love the bias on the moving averages, but the market's going up huge today, and we can't seem to pick up steam. We gapped up and then failed. We can't really seem to pick up steam right now, at least as of now, on MU, on Micron. So a little bit of concern. All of that trip to say 51.38 on the upside, 49.64 on the downside. And that 51.38, I think Barry had said it. We hit it multiple times. Multiple times we've ran into that level, right? So, and we've failed every time, including way back yonder, right? 764, which is what that line is a hesitation point. Let me go find the symbols again. All right, so I hope that helps there, Trip. GameStop, GME. Robert was asking for GameStop. Oh, you still in this one, Robert? I mean, the pullback, a little concerning, but then again, you know, we're looking at Friday, that moved down in there. Gap down, it's had a little bit of a bounce, but it looks like 1116, 1284, Robert, are where we're at. We definitely need to add a negative 1.618 up here and then see if we need a fib in there. We're looking at $2. Yeah, we need a fib it. $2.42. Fibonacci's support resistance. So, yeah, that's good. Okay. So 11 to 1284, we don't need a fib in there. We're good. We're good there. So wow, the $4 calls. Good for you, Robert, in July. Good for you. Excellent. Excellent. Good move up. Good pullback. Look for, if you break the 1116, Robert, I'd get a little concerned. Actually, let's do this. So I'm going to back up this Fibonacci for right now. I'm going to draw a new fib on one-day candle only. And I'm going to fix it manually. What was our high on this day? 1364. All right, so I've got 1362. So let me change that over. All right, so I want to delete line, delete line. I don't know if it's going to let me do this. Let me see. Okay, good. So, Robert, that right there, that 1142 represents the center of this large candle. That 50 percentile, that midpoint of that one candle, high to low, is what it represents, right? I hit the blue lines. that high to low is really the area that we're looking at as it's acceptable to see a pullback to that range over the next 3 to 5 days, which we've seen 2 days pass, right? I like the 3 better than the 5, closer to the 3. So over that next 3 to 5 days, a pullback to that level is okay. We start violating it, and this big move is almost non-existent. And I want you to think of it, if you're a bowler, right, and you bowl a strike, right? What does that mean? In the next frame, or the next 2 balls, you get to add that to the current frame. So you can really multiply your score. Well, in the next 2 balls, you throw a gutter and a 2. It's like you never got a strike. It doesn't help you any longer, right? If we violate the 1142, it's almost the big move we made on Thursday didn't really happen, and it doesn't matter anymore, right? So a lot of explanation, but for a purpose, for a reason as to the why behind it, is that 1142 will be critical. Let's see. Sorry, I got to keep changing screens, guys, to get back and seeing everything. Etsy. Whew. Robert, you go from one extreme to the next. $10 to $150. Definitely a COVID stock. Definitely a COVID stock. It's a work from home stock. People are not buying stuff in the stores. I mean, heck, my kids go on and they order their masks from Etsy. You know, my youngest one, Sabrina, has found what she said is the softest mask she's been able to find. And she's bought multiple for her. Some of her friends, she's bought them for just as gifts. Here, you need to have this. My wife, she told my wife, order this one for yourself. And all kinds of gifts that the kids have gotten for their friends and even from their friends have come from Etsy since COVID starting. So based on that, I see Etsy being a strong company. Now, 141 is the downside and 153 is resistance or a target. Watch earnings coming up, Robert. They're soon. So if you're in that position, maybe protect something with some puts. Mike's asking for Citi Group, right? Banks, right? Should be doing better. Oh, they've got earnings, Mike. Just be careful. They're just in a messed up place, pinned between the 8 and 21, which is nothing. Building up of a potential pressure cooker, more chance of a break to the downside than the up. I would be very careful with these guys. I wouldn't take anything to the upside. If we resolve down, I'd consider a bearish trade, but I wouldn't take anything that resolved to the upside until the moving averages made adjustments. For me, I don't want to deal with that. So let's see. CBS. Hope that helps, Mike. All right. Let me see. You're welcome, Mike. So CBS, Chung's asking for CBS. So very similar to Citigroup, Chung, where we're in between what is now the 821 confluence and that 55. We're just stuck in there. We are at a point that we're still in a neutral bias, which means day trade. The ADX is down below 25, as is the DMI plus and minus. So I have nothing yet that says, oh, take me as a directional trade. As a day trade, I don't know if you have enough room in there. Let's see, 59.25 and 60.5. There's only 75-cent move inside of here. I'd be cautious overall with this one, Chung. I'm not a fan, but that's me I'm not trying to jump in early and figure it out before it happened. I'm very much the trader that says, show me a pattern and I'll jump on the coattails. For me as a trader. So I hope that that one helps. Leslie's asking for Z, for Zillow, all right? The way to buy homes, right? Why do you need a realtor? Why do you need to go out and find it anywhere? Just go ahead and go look it up on Zillow. You can go find out your home's value, what the tax history has been, the ownership history, how much people bought it and sold it for on most properties. Some of the things are hidden, could be private sales and such. You may not catch everything, but you will definitely get a lot of the public knowledge stuff that's out there. Overall move is nice. We probably should put a fib on here at this point. That little hiccup, about 50 percentile along the way, so we're okay there. Earnings coming up in a couple of weeks, almost 4 weeks away, 11.5. We're okay. We're back at the hesitation point. If we can get above the 104.61, 888, 104, yeah, we don't need to fib it. So we get above the 104.61, close, retest, bounce. So what does that mean? Get above, retest, bounce, look at 112.5 as resistance. It's got a lot of potential to it, Leslie. And then PK is asking for spiders, SPY. I love them. My biggest heartache with dealing with Pop 5K is I've limited myself to 3 trades a week. 3 trades Monday through Friday. I'm not trying to focus and remember the last day I did all of my trades the previous week to where I actually have a rolling 3 trades. But because I started with under 25 grand, I can only do 3-day trades in a 5-day period, right? And my account is still under 25 grand. But I look at it as I'm only doing 3 trades in a week. And there are so many times where I see a trade and it says, boy, I would take this. On the spiders, I find 2 and 3 trades a day. Oh, I would take this trade, but it probably only has the potential to move about 70 or 80 cents. So I'm not going to take it because I don't want to give up on a bigger mover and trying to lock in the bigger profits. But I think that people should be trading the SPY every single day. Here, let me write it down. $349.43. Watch. Let's go look at the SPY. SPY. And let's go ahead and open this one up. And we said 349.43. Bueno. We opened up above. We came down. We opened down here. We pushed up. We came down. We were down. We were down. We closed right there. We opened up above, pushed up, retested. Boom. Look at the bounce. Look at the bounce. You're talking about a move from, we'll call it 349, 350 up to 353. $3 move on SPY today after a clear and concise entry, right? If we look, just trying to see where option station is opening up. If we look on SPY, big option chain, huh? We look on SPY, we'll just grab this right here, okay? Watch. I'm gonna take that off the screen. So we were talking about a trade that went off what? Somewhere around here, right? Call it 10 o'clock-ish. This option this morning was 22 cents. It's now $2.40. 10 times growth on there. If we look at, here, we'll look at this one. All right, there we go. So this is the 350. About the same time, you're looking about 50 cents, and now it's $3. Massive move today on SPY. Rob, would you have stayed in through here? Even if I didn't, I got in at 50 cents and I got stopped out at $1.75. That's $1.25 of profit on a 50-cent investment. It's 2.5 times P&L, 250%. Right? So Jim said, Zoom, please look at the earnings are 11:30 unconfirmed. Look at the pressure cooker, the ADX over the 40, MACD dropping, lower daily volume, possible bearish or looking more sideways. So let's see, let me go back. So on SPY, 358.75, 349. Those are our 2 targets. I said it before. Jim was asking that again on Zoom. No, was it Zoom? Yeah, sorry. Zoom, I did Zillow, ZM. I don't have MACD on this chart. We do have a nice high ADX and DMI plus. CCI is in the right place as well. Would have loved to have caught this one on Friday. Just a little bit closer to that 478 level, because your stop needs to be somewhere down here. Your stop needs to be somewhere down here, right? Down below this level. You're probably down here somewhere. So getting in at 496 when you're getting out of 462 or 66 or whatever, just puts you at a pretty great risk at this point. So be careful there, Jim. Day trade all day long if you can get it off of the right support or resistance levels, for sure. Let's see. So Robert said he's also up 81% on Etsy, January 2021 calls. Cool. Hey Ray, how you doing? So my marina, my yacht club that I belong to is down by the Padigans in Brooklyn, Ray. And we do a club meeting once a month. And we got a notice that we fell into the yellow zone over there. And I know it's probably not that far from you. It's right over by Canarsie Pier. Actually, when you drive out of my canal, you got Canarsie Pier right there. And we got a notification. Our property is owned by the Parks Department, and the Parks Department was stationed outside of our property of all of the marinas over there, which are all Parks Department property. And you weren't allowed in without a mask. And if you didn't have one, they'd hand a mask to you, and you must lock your gate so no one could walk in off the street. So pretty interesting with what's going on down in Brooklyn and some of the other places. Horrible, actually, but so on AMD, Ray, let's see. So I'd love the moving average a little bit lower, but it's not horrible. We're above the moving average now. 87.29 is resistance. Let me see something. Where's my spreadsheet now? Okay, so let me go and look at, I know I looked at this one yesterday as a potential covered call. Now, for some reason, it didn't make it. I don't know why it didn't make it on my list. I had it on a watch list, but something wasn't looking right on it. I know what it was. Earnings were just a little bit closer than I wanted to deal with. But as a diagonal, and I'm a big fan of AMD, period. If we go look and we sell the 86 for 98 cents, call it $1 to make it easy math. And if we have enough open interest in March, we're looking at buying the March 77.5 for $16 versus $1. I think we said we're selling it for. Where are we? Here we go, about $1, right? So we're selling the 86, we're buying the 77.5, that's $9.50. $10.50. Still a couple bucks underwater, but earnings are a little too close. But I like AMD, period, for diagonals. Always have. I've traded them based on diagonals and covered calls historically forever. I mean, you go back last year, because I haven't gone on the road and taught. There was another company that asked me to go out and do some specific events for them to their members, trading events. And back here, I was trading covered calls on it all the time, naked puts. It's gotten a little bit expensive now for that, which is where the diagonals come in. But good company. Be cautious with the earnings coming up. 83 is support. 87 is resistance. Oh, sorry. Robert said not 81% on Etsy. It's 810% on Etsy. Well, even better. So yellow zone, red zone are what's going on with in New York State with the governor saying we're doing certain restrictions. So now houses of worship and meeting spaces, parties, even in your own house. If you have the space for it, it's still limited to a maximum of 25 people, where it was 50. So they're cutting back, and they're having restrictions on it. So yellow zone is that how many? We're only allowed 25 people in the club. We have more than that in our yacht club now, but we're only allowed 25 people in a meeting. Now, that's okay. I haven't gone with everything going on with COVID. Brooklyn is just a breeding ground for some of the recent breakouts right now. My mom has a doctor there that she goes to, loves, and I said, you're not allowed to go. She said, you do know I'm the parent. I said, right, who's being told by her son you're not allowed to go. Don't even think about going down there. Yeah, the Fuhrer has spoken. There you go, Baz. I know exactly where it's just in the back on the Padigans there, Ray. Love it. I love the marina, the club. It's a private club. We got 2 acres of waterfront property that we don't even pay $2,000 a month for. 2+ acres. Let's see. Kevin's asking if I can look at CWH. Let's see. CWH, and Kevin was talking about there being earnings run. So low price stock, that's the very first thing that I see. What was it you said? For an earnings run November 5th. So this is the second right here, the yellow bar. So here's the E on the 5th, right? Again, Kevin, the first thing that comes to my mind is this high and this high here, right? We had this one here, a little bit higher. This one's about the same, but a little bit lower, right? So a high, a lower high, a lower high. We had a low, a lower low, a lower low. So overall, we've got this bearishness going on in there. The moving averages are kind of flat. I've got nothing on ADX, which is 18. And even my DMIs, 22 on the minus for the overall bearishness. So if you're thinking bullish on the earnings announcement, was it Kevin that had said that one? I think so. Let me see. Yeah. So Kevin, if you're thinking bullish on this, I'm a little hard pressed. I would want to see a move back above that 33.22 level first before I'd be looking at something bullish on it. Bearish, I'm all about it with a target about 28. So you got about $3 move to the downside, but I don't know if that's the earnings run or bump you're looking for. Who are they? Camping World headquarters. I'm surprised they're not doing better, maybe because of seasonality and temperatures. But so many people are dealing with more of the outdoor stuff right now. I love to go camping as long as it's in a hotel. If it's in a hotel, I'm good. Right? Yeah, I'll walk around the woods all day long, and fish and whatever, as long as I shoot, as long as I got a place to go back and sleep in a real bed, I'm okay. Descending triangle, possibly. I looked at the bottoms here, and there definitely is some familiarity down here. And then we go off of these tops, and we're definitely in that wedging pattern. Problem is it's far, far away. Far away. Far away. Really far. So we have basically until this area right here. Let me get a line. So in between those two lines is where the break to the downside is. So we're 7-8 days away. Let's see from where that is. This is the 20th. Here we are on the 12th. So we've got at least 8 days before we want to see a break to the downside. If we could see a break to the downside, just in an ideal world, what does that mean for us? Same thing, if I edit this, let's see. Let's take out -1, the -618. Let's take out these negative numbers in here. All right, let's take out the 236. Done, done, done. Okay. All right, let's see, let me grab it. If I grab this and put it down here, if you know how to trade triangles and wedges, then you know exactly what I just did. If you don't, that's okay. So here's what you need to know, which doesn't have to be everything. All right, you need to know that if we get inside of these two lines before we break, in an ideal world, it's a break and a retest and a fail. 24.22 is the target that we're going for to hit if it breaks there, right here, that red line. Don't worry about the how I came up with it for now. This is a whole lesson. We teach this stuff in Monster Market Movers and all that good stuff, right? So that's where we're headed to next, all right? Absolute perfection. Right, where are we? All right. So any last questions while you guys are and gals are doing that? Amy, if you can go ahead and drop in a link to, you may have done it, I just can't see it on my end. If you would drop in a link to Power Option Plays, guys, I'm telling you, if you're not there, if you're not at the point where you're making some of the numbers that I'm talking about, what if I can only teach you to do half as good as I've done? What if I can only show you how to get a quarter of the way there? What if you could only take $5,000? What if you could only take $5,000 and only have built it up to $7,500 in the last couple of weeks? Let me share this. I'll show you the very last one that I did, which is not our biggest mover at all, right? Oh, let me get rid of that drawing on there. Okay, there we go. So the last trade, and I didn't look at what the numbers were. The last trade I did was Target. Went against us. It was a 4-contract trade, followed the rules. And it was a bearish trade. It went against us by 50 cents. And we wound up being down $156 as the trade P&L. For last week on a $5,000 account, we're up $1,092. Yes, the account has an additional $5,000 in it. This is just the closed P&L. We're up $9,725 this year. This year, 5 weeks this year. 5 weeks, we're up $9,700. On 3 trades last week, including Target, we're up $1,092. This is the stuff I'm going to share. This is one of the symbols in there. I haven't shared these symbols yet. There's only a handful of students that have even seen this yet because they're some of the ones that are testing it and doing some different things with me on it. So my team has seen it and is super excited about what we're able to accomplish here. So I've said I was going to change. Once we had a $5,000 profit, I was going to change my rules, and I haven't. I've still stuck with minimal number of contracts. I've still stuck with a very tight range on how much I'm willing to spend on my options, what my max cost can be. All of this right here, every bit of this was on a max contract based on a max dollar amount, based on a very low risk profile for a $5,000 account. So, yeah, well, small loss, big gain. So the other 2 stocks brought in, say $1,250 total between those 2. We lost 156, and we've got, this is 17 stocks we did the trade on. These trades on. Notice the first 3 lines are headers. Right? These are all headers. So that gives us 17 trades. So 17 trades in 5 weeks, of which 4 of them went against us. So 4 out of 17, right? 4 out of 16 would be a quarter. So overall, not too shabby. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. So Debbie said, I'm looking to get on a bigger screen. Do you recommend a TV screen or a monitor? So Debbie, I'm not a big fan of TV screens. I think that, the resolution sometimes can make everything really big on there. So you got to be careful. I do use 24-inch monitors. I like them a lot. I had a 30-inch once before. It really wasn't for me. I like the 24s better, but I think some of that comes down to personality. So Boz is asking, are they long or short-term type trades for Pop? What's in here? What's right in here, Boz? What we're doing with Pop 5K is all day trades right now. What we do in Pop is day trades and swing trades being normally a maximum of 2 to 3 weeks, because my whole entire process is to find explosive setups. Once I've got that explosive setup, to jump all over that sucker, and get a quick move out of it. When we don't get a move in 2 or 3 days, I start worrying a little bit about that trade. And I'll say it, I think this one's going to go against us. We haven't moved yet. With the way my clear and concise entry works, we should have seen an entry at this point. We should have been putting that trade already. Jim said, monitor advice, more rectangle resolution than square, 16 by 9. Yeah, that's, you got it, Jim. Perfect. I appreciate that. All right. So Amy went ahead and dropped in the link, folks. You go ahead and click on that, and you have yourself a glorious rest of your day. God bless. Stay focused on the quest to becoming a great trader. Keep crushing it. And remember, you're just one trade away. I will see all of you at next week's update. Take care. See you then, folks.